It's another edition of the GLC podcast. My name is Lupumlo Joka. I'm chilling here with Amandla Didiza Max. And we've got a very, very special guest today, the former mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, former provincial leader of the Democratic Alliance, former MP of Cope, and a community activist and someone that loves, I'd love to think that someone that loves the Eastern Cape and that loves the country so well. Thank you, sir, for sitting down with us. Last week we couldn't do it. And I remember you saying you're very, very passionate about this hearing, the judgment that was going to come out on Friday.
ICJ.
Yeah, and I've seen some pictures. I'm not sure if you've seen any pictures, Bele, but I've seen some pictures of you, Unqaba, the flag, and all of that. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good?
No, good, man. I think I'm very passionate about the struggle of the people of Palestine. You remember, Palestine is one of the countries in the Middle East who supported our cause. Your Lebanon, in Beirut, many of our people were trained there. Yasser Arafat was a friend of our struggle. People who spoke on behalf of South Africa when South Africa had no voice, the same way that they do not have a voice today. Madiba puts it very nicely that we will never be free until the people of Palestine are free. But what touched me the most this round is the fact of the killings of children and women. You know, it reminded me of the past, you know, because there are similarities to what is happening in Palestine to what is happening to us, because both struggles are struggles of territory. And we were denied to own land into our own territory. We're put into reserves because we were not seen as the native owners of our land. And the same thing there, it's the same thing that people come and occupy your land and become your bosses. Therefore, the killings, and when I was watching this war I was not sleeping 24 hours.
Really?
When it started, like watch Al Jazeera, CNN, Sky News, change channels to try and see and try to grasp what is happening. How are these people thinking that you can just bomb a community like that? And I started to learn more about why this thing is happening, and I could not take it to see the number of children being butchered like that. You know, physically, it touches you when you see those white bags. You know, and the blue bags. And I mean, if you have emotions, you will understand what that means. And in South Africa, the same thing happened, you know, because it reminds me, at that age of those kids, when I was 8 years of age, you know, here in Port Elizabeth, we're exposed to the army, the South African Defence Force, as much as they are exposed to the Israeli Defence Force. The South African Defence Force was as brutal as like that, you know. To kids, to everybody. They killed people here in our township. They barricaded the walls that they have. We have them. You know the New Brighton? Yeah. If you know when you go down to Wilson Stadium.
Okay.
I don't know Wilson Stadium.
There were barbed wires there, dividing Zakhele and New Brighton. You know, we had to go through that gate. There was a gate. You passed there. You are checked the same way that is happening in Israel. I mean, their struggle is our struggle.
Of course.
You know, and it pains me that when I stand in these robots there, many people think I'm crazy.
So you were standing on robots?
I do it every day.
Every day?
I'm going to go. Yeah.
Where? Which robots?
I'll show you the pictures. Yesterday I was in South End, Willem.
For how long?
I start at 4 to 6 in the morning. I start
4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
No.
PM.
PM.
4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
In the morning, 6 to 9, and then I go.
What do you just stand with a placard?
I will show you. I have pictures. It's not. Yeah, I have a placard. I have.
So that is your commitment to the cause.
I have map. It's been like News 24. You know.
Is it? I haven't seen.
It's been everywhere. It's been in the Herald and.
Okay.
I'm gonna do an international interview now with a newspaper international.
Oh, is that why you were on news on? Is it what's the channel you were on recently 2 days ago? 405 is it 405?
It's something completely different, that one. But This one, it's been on News 24. It's been on the Herald. I do that every day.
Yeah.
It's very popular. It's known that there's this man standing there. They don't even know that that's the former mayor.
They just see someone who's just standing there.
But you know what is shocking is that many of our African people do not know what I'm doing. They think I'm running. I'm
Going
crazy.
crazy.
I'm mad. Yeah. And because they don't understand. They don't even understand the name Palestine.
Yeah.
You know, but what they know is Gaza.
But I think it's the synonymity of being in a place holding a placard, especially at a robot. You know, they associate that with some poverty lines.
Yes.
There's a misconception behind the strength of the message. Also, you know, maybe somewhere, somehow, there's a 10-year-old child who's reading that and there's like, what does this message say? And the parent is able to extend that conversation and you're conscientizing.
No, the people who understand it the most are the kids. Even the parents, white parents, they don't know about it. You know, people ask, they think, what is happening? Then I said, but I'm not seeing what is happening. I have to explain to people that 23,000 people have been killed. Kids have been killed there. And then people say, oh, say Gaza. Okay.
And that's essentially what you want to achieve.
Exactly. That's what I want to achieve, for people to understand. I think we should do more for civic education in South Africa.
All right.
But it all is part of this in Cape. At least in Joburg, people are, okay, it's a middle class anyway. But I'll be going to radio. I think I'm going to go to Nqaba, and to try and explain this cause. I took it upon myself.
Okay.
We have to educate our people, because it's true that there's going to be attack to South Africa. This is not small. People think that it's a very small thing. You know, the West, they're not going to take.
No,
It's very big what we've done to expose injustice in the world. I mean, I'm so inspired to be called a South African.
Yeah.
You know, I saw another lady, Pumzile Van Dam, saying she was in China. She went to one of, and if you show your ID of a South African, everybody could just go crazy. You are treated like a king, because people recognize the impact of that.
That's beautiful. That's
challenging, you know, the status quo in the world.
Beautiful.
And this is not the beginning. I mean, if you look at the BRICS, the same thing. You know, South Africa challenged the big powers to say we are not going to be dominated by one bloc. You know, we have to make sure that we listen to everybody else. And there's always been a South African foreign policy to say we are not going to allow people to undermine our sovereignty. Madiba puts it very nice if you follow his interviews. You know, that South Africa, nobody's going to choose South African friends, and I think we should be proud of that.
No, 100%.
There are a couple of things I'd like us to get into. Your political. I've been doing some reading for the past couple of days, trying to do a bit of research on you and your political journey and your political life. As I said, you are regional chair of COSAS. You are part of the ANC Youth League. You were a leader there. You became SRC president. What year was that? 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So that should make you around 50s.
No.
About revealing too much.
I was born 1977.
Yeah. National SG of SASCO. Then you moved to the COPE. You became an MP for COPE. For how long were you an MP for COPE? 5 years.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Four. I think four, not 5.
Four.
Because I came in the middle of the term.
Then you joined the Democratic Alliance in 2014, right? Yeah. And then you were expelled in 27. I mean, not expelled, suspended. What's the difference, by the way, being suspended and being expelled? You're not expelled from the party, you're suspended.
Like Zuma. Mine is better than the Zuma one.
So you're suspended. Yeah. Are you suspended from the party? Or you're suspended?
You are suspended from the party.
Yeah.
So you're suspended. You are currently suspended from the party. This is disturbing you. Now let's switch it off.
No, it's fine.
Is it fine?
She keeps
you keep looking at it.
On the 1st of December, I don't know why many people did not pick this thing up. On the 1st of December, I resigned
as MPL
from Parliament.
I saw that. Yes.
Okay.
And also resigned from the party.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You've resigned from the Democratic Alliance.
Both.
So when did the suspension come now? Did it come as a result of your resignation?
No.
Or were there already some internal cracks there? And that was...
No, it came, when did I come? I spoke out around July, you know, and then I was suspended 2 weeks after.
2 weeks after.
Yeah. Then there was a process for DC, which DC said around the 20 something, 25th or something. Which
is that why it's distracting? The charge was brought by...
no. Then what I did, instead of going to the DC, you know, I gave them intention to resign.
Okay.
You know,
As a member of the party.
What I did, I gave them an offer. You know, to say instead of us having a fight, you understand? I'm going to give you an offer for me to resign in the DA and also resign the party.
Okay.
Then we don't go to, but they didn't want that, because what they wanted to stigmatize me, like to say we've expelled him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now
it creates a cloud over your name.
That's what they wanted. Now, my lawyers tried to communicate, they didn't want. Then I said, okay, let's write to them and then we resign. Like I think on the 25th. Then I also wrote a notice to Parliament to resign on the 31st of December. Now, they didn't accept that. Then I submitted a resignation. When I submitted a resignation, I was lucky, without knowing. When I resigned, it's when they were sitting having a meeting to expel me. I resigned first. Yeah. Do you understand?
So you resigned from
that's
the narrative. You resigned from
I resigned in Parliament. I resigned everywhere. The first people, the first letter for Parliament to receive and everybody else was coming from me. Okay. Then it caught them by surprise, because that's not what they wanted. That's not what Helen wanted. He wanted them to say they've expelled me. Then they got it wrong. You know, my ancestor spoke to me first.
Let's take a few steps back, right? Because I want to understand how your mind works and how some of the decisions that you've taken, how you came to a point of deciding that I now want to, I've joined the ANC, now I'm leaving the ANC, I've joined COPE. So maybe take us back. Let's start there very, very briefly. Not your childhood, but your political consciousness. I mean, in terms of your political involvement, I'm sure it was sparked by apartheid and all of that, but maybe let's start with, where did the plug or the light bulb switch on in terms of your political consciousness, and then your political journey in less than 3 minutes. So you first joined, you were part of COSAS, and then you went to the ANC loosely. Because for me, Max, that jump from ANC Youth League to COPE, I don't know ideologically if there's a big gap, but definitely from ANC to DA, it seems like
far and wide.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why you would go ANC.
Let's start with the COPE, the ANC COPE.
Yes.
If you understand what is happening in the ANC today, many of us will feel so vindicated.
Okay.
If you understand the MK thing, you know, you won't believe I feel so vindicated. Because we said this person, Jacob Zuma, is exactly what he is doing now. Fortunately, I was working with him.
You're working with President Jacob
Zuma. I was working with him in Lutuli for just a good thing.
As the SG of SASCO.
Yeah. Then the first narrative, Zuma projects himself as a victim throughout. Zuma, he is very smart, you know. Everybody must feel sad and have pity for him. You know, he's always been a victim in his own way of doing things. When Zuma had a rape case, you know, everybody rallied against Zuma because he created a conspiracy theory around it, that There are people who are setting him up for this. When he had a case on the Nqaba thing, he did the same thing. He had to be a victim. Played Zimande, Vavi, all those Balula, all of those people, they ran it against around. In Lutuli House, it was only us, Sasko, which was opposing this thing. If you could go back and go and do an investigation and check, who said there's no conspiracy in the NC? It was Sasko was in a press conference with Mutupi Mutiba, the president. Many people who were sober saw that press conference as one of a different type because we put a context on how the ANC conducts itself.
Okay.
And we explained, and we're the only in the PYA, the Young Communist League, COSAS, ANC League, they were against us. We were seen as Mbeki people, because we stood firm, you will remember the KZN group in Sasko. They went to our National General Council. They tried to embarrass the then Deputy President, Mpumzile Lambonuk. We were able to survive that, because we were highly conscious. We were able to conscientize a group of people to understand that Sasko cannot be co-opted to wrongdoing. Sure. And we want that. And many people who respect me in Sasko, they respect us because of that. And we're still a group. Lamula, for instance.
You're still close. Close friends.
We're still very close. We even speak even now. Now, then Zuma created this mobilization strategy. And that's why the ANC collapsed, by the way.
Is that where the heart of factionalism started?
That's why here in Nelson Mandela, the ANC could not survive. Because we left with the internals of the ANC here in Nelson Mandela when we went to Cope. We finished.
When you went to Cope.
we left.
What year was that? Around
2008.
Yeah.
Because Zuma could not enter here. In his first rally, we had to go and assist him to have a rally. They had these people from East London. They put them here. We organized on Friday structures of the youth league. Nqaba was full like this. Because we had authority, we were running structures here. That's where I was first suspended in the youth league.
Oh. For
wearing Tamumbegi's t-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, by Andy Lungisa. Then they
Andy Lungisa suspended you.
Yeah, he's executive.
He was the executive at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, I was in his executive.
Oh.
And they stole our conference first, then they suspended. It was painful to be chased in your own movement that we've grown up in for years by people we have built, the people we have recruited.
So why did you leave ANC then?
The first thing what they've done is they tried to eliminate us. Yeah? Then they wanted to deal with everything that Mbeki smelled Mbeki. Yeah. We were the last structure here to be disbanded of the ANC that supported Mbeki. Where they came here and they did for no apparent reason.
But if I can ask, I think you're holding on to something that's very important here. And it's the ability for politicians to destroy the credibility and the name of anyone who poses a threat. For instance, at the time, it's about 2008, 2009, if I'm correct. Yeah. Mbeki is serving his second term. There's no way that he's going to serve a third term.
Yeah.
Of course, there's distrust because at the time, if Mbeki leaves the country, he puts Umabonakude as president instead of Zuma. There's obviously distrust between the two, but there's no way that Mbeki is going to serve a third term because constitutionally it's not allowed. Yes. Why are people so adamant to kill your political or character assassinate you in South Africa rather than just wait their turn? It's such a popular theme in South African politics that the same way they were surprised that you had submitted your letter of resignation, they wanted to assassinate your character by expelling you and shifting now the attention away from them. Why is that popular in South African politics? Why must you always seem as someone who wants to kill and destroy rather than build a legacy of your own. Because that also, what you must also understand is that as a political leader, you have a lot of influence and you have a lot of people that are backing you. And there's blind loyalty to this. And it ruins a lot of conscious thinking in South Africa. And I think for me, it's a huge problem. Why is it that politicians want to do this?
I don't know, House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah. Strategists.
All these people are so obsessed with American way of doing things. And that's what they do, by the way. That's what they did. They like that House of Cards. That's what they
You guys,
do you understand?
oh dear, you guys like to use.
They like that thing. I mean, it's people who have no political conviction and consciousness.
Yes.
You know, leadership, political leadership should have values.
Yes.
You know, that are grounded on the service of the people. You know, people who start to believe in factionalism, I'll tell you something. Are people who are not politically conscious. Halima puts it very nicely, and I always say to people when I was still in the two, explains to me, I don't know how it changed, that, you know, factionalism is nothing else but people who sit together, you know. What unifies them, you know, is to deal with somebody. It's gossip.
Okay.
What makes a function, a faction? It's not the work to service the people, you know. It's how to, the issue that surround them is how to destroy somebody. Do you understand? I'll give you an example. He puts an example like your friends. Maybe you have this friend. When you say no, you want to buy like something to drink. You understand? This friend is the one who does not contribute most of the time.
Yeah.
Then when that person is not there,
Affection.
he said maybe if you are 10, the 9 of you always talk. You know, who's all that? You know? Then you rally around that person. You want to destroy, you speak very bad about that person. You destroy that one. You will remain 9, that's what he said. Then, because your issues is to talk about somebody, what builds you, what makes you survive is to gossip and talk about somebody. You will come to number 9. He says it's going to come to you because what keeps a faction alive is how to destroy somebody. Do you understand? That's what happens, like, I mean, in politics. Like Mbeki, why Mbeki was destroyed. He built the economy. He stabilized the country, well respected in the world and in Africa. Now, do you know how Mbeki was destroyed? But you guys, you forget very quickly. Do you know where they started to destroy Mbeki? Do you know Khotsong? Do you know an area called Khotsong in the northwest? Do you still remember that?
I don't know anything
quite
about
clear.
that.
Khotsong, what they did there, they went to a project to cause an uprising there. It's the South African Communist
Who did
Party.
that?
The South African Communist Party.
Okay.
And there was lawlessness. People couldn't even go and vote for a local government elections there. Ne? That's where they started.
Okay.
Then they went where? Then they went to Alexandra. Ne? Remember Mbeki was going to...
He was missing in South Africa at the time.
He was going to a conference, an African conference. They went to Alexandra. Do you know what they did in Alexandra? They attacked what? The foreigners. Do you know why?
That was the big xenophobic matter.
Do you know why they had to do that? They wanted to project Mbeki in South Africa that this thing that is a renaissance of Africa,
African
and
renaissance
the African leader, it doesn't work in Mbeki's land. You understand? Because they wanted to destroy him. Okay. And remember, when they removed him, he was supposed to go to a world conference.
Yeah.
The world conference, that world conference. A day before, he was removed as president. Because they didn't want the world to hear his voice. You understand? They wanted to substitute that. And that affected South Africa. Even today, we suffer from that. Because the most stable thing we've ever had in South Africa was Mbeki's leadership.
Of course.
Do you understand? Now, they wanted to destroy that. But the question we should ponder in is to check why Mbeki was removed like that. You understand? For another day. But look at Petrus Lumumba. You know, look at Sankara, look at many other leaders in Africa. Mohamed Nkrumah, how they were removed. They were removed in the same way of Mbeki. Because when you start to be this progressive African thing, I will start to talk about African Renaissance, sovereignty of Africa, trade, country to country trade, they get attacked. That's what happened to me. But people who are naive, who are very narrow in thinking, they are not going to see like these ones now that are starting this thing. But the issue...
Which ones now? I don't know. Which ones?
The Lando MK.
Oh, MKs.
Now. We had to leave. I didn't want to leave the ANC. And nobody trusted me that I would leave the ANC because the ANC was in my veins.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, my friends, all of them left. And now, when you go to the social environment, no one wants to talk to me. Okay, we do whatever we do. We drink this side. But these guys will go and sit there on the other side. They're talking about this something that I should not know because I'm still in the ANC. Then a friend of mine, Seda, Sandile, told me that, no, man, you know why people don't want to, they believe you that you will never leave the ANC. Then I had to, through peer pressure first, to say, no. Anyway, these people in the ANC, they don't want me. Yeah. Why don't I just go with my friends? I'm going to be alone there. Then we went. But in a matter of principle, because the ANC by that time was starting to really be what it is today. Because we questioned. We said, the ANC, if it continues to support this thing of Zuma in the way and the people surrounding Zuma, we are going to have an ANC that is going to lose its contrast tradition. You know what a contrast tradition is? It's a culture, and custom, and values that are not written down. What kept the African National Congress as for these years was the contrast tradition. You understand? It was not. It was the things that you say. A cadre of the ANC cannot do this, but it's not written down. It's based on what Tambo said, what Luthuli said, what Pixley, or an event. You will be told that this is how an ANC cadre behaves. In 2007, that's what they've broken. You know, when you broke a tradition, if you can break this class, when you want to bring it together, what happens?
It won't be the same.
It won't be the same. A tradition, when it breaks it, won't be the same. Now, we told them that the problem of the ANC is that we've broken the fundamental thing that is a foundation of any revolutionary movement, national liberation movement, a tradition. Tradition, in any, even in this institution, your institution, the one you're doing now, if anybody starts to tamper with the fundamental of the foundation of the institutional culture, it will never be the same. No, you understand? Therefore, that's what the ANC first tampered with in its evolution. And many people, they in Pulukwa, they said it's our time to eat. Yeah. This concept of our time, it happened, they were there in Pulukwa and Chief. They would say it's our time to eat. What they were trying to say, those who started the movement when there was no money have to be put on the side because they knew have to come in and turn to a time to eat. People who've never thrown even a stone to a hippo started to assume leadership because of it's our time to. People were paired, you know, good people of the ANC with merit. Then merit was compromised. And people who had even no understanding of USASA started to assume leadership. You understand? Then that's where then the state started to collapse. A person, you have never even visited that place.
Not even an open day.
No, not even an open day. Now those people started to be our leaders. Yeah. You know, substituting capacity to revolutionary slogans. And revolutionary slogans started to be a problem. Yeah. Because theory without practice is useless as well as practice without theory. You must know something, my brother, for you to lead people. If you do not know something, you know, we will lead people to another direction. Then we left, this chaos started to happen. Now I'm very proud because we showed them. I told them that this is what is going to happen. And when I was recruited, when I left to COPE.
So you were recruited to join COPE?
No. I know. My friend told me that you are going to be sidelined. The train is moving. Come. Sure. We joined. All of us. All those people who are in the ANC here. Mike Kleko, Kuseli Jack, Zuma Simangotwa, Chris Jamda, all of us, all those people who were in leadership in the ANC, the core of the ANC, the leadership of the ANC, people who were there in PAYCO when the consumer boycott and everything, people who are respected there, left. Now, that's why I'm saying we took the intestines of the ANC, everything. Then Sabashi and Jay with a share. That's why they lost elections. They have not recovered. The ANC have not recovered now. Because of that. Not because of the DA is strong. No. What destroyed the ANC was that period between 2007 and 2008. That's what killed the ANC here. And it's going to be difficult to revive it, but it can be revived if you have a proper leadership. Then we went there to COPE. We ran COPE. And unfortunately also COPE, the best organization that could compete with the ANC in South Africa.
At that time.
Was going to be COPE.
I think it was the modern day IFP, at its inception.
COPE.
It had a lot of promise.
No.
Because it had the right people who, again, when you speak about merit, cross-flowed at the time. But I think,
no,
something was missing there, was like what?
No. What happened? You see what Zuma is doing. It's exactly what it's copying exactly what we started to do. The first thing, many people, including myself, we didn't want to leave the ANC. No, we wanted to create an ANC outside the ANC. Because what Zuma is saying is what we're saying. I said, this is not the ANC. The Zuma ANC is not our ANC. This is another ANC. It's us. What is it? I mean, I don't know why people can't go back and, even journalists, go back and listen to what we're saying. In order, when you make an analysis, you're able to say how this thing was said. You understand? Because we said, this is our ANC. Do you know what we wanted COPE to be? We wanted COPE to be the ANC of 1912. The first name to register COPE. Do you understand? So it's difficult to detach from a liberation struggle, a liberation movement. That's why Zuma, it's psychological. You can't jump from ANC to DA. That's why I have to have a transition somewhere.
You have to detox.
Yeah. Now, that's what we did that. Ne? That's why COPE, by the way, it's the Congress of the people. You can see the DNA of the ANC even there. Do you understand? Because the Congress of the People was in 1955. Yeah. In the main, whilst it was not an ANC forum, but it was led in the main by ANC people. You understand? Then that's how COPE was established. But the problem of COPE now, as a person who served in Parliament, if you can take not the minds, not the brains, of the leadership of the EFF, you take it and attach those people, that thing, not their brains, not that anarchy and their theory, their strategy to cope, it could defeat the ANC. And I mean, we failed cope, even ourselves, like there's a new generation, because we only depended on the old. The old did not want what we wanted. They wanted a revolutionary change. But the old wanted a change of platform, but remain with the prestige. I used to see, like in Parliament, listen to
it's duplication,
to speeches of some of the COPE MPs saying, but it's like the ANC, this comrade saying he's trying to appease those ones. It's still
but just in a different chairs.
Yeah, then and the limitation what made them to fight was the prestige of leadership. Everybody wanted to be called a leader. Remember, I did not go to Parliament. That's why I said I went to Parliament in the middle of everything. By the way, I went to Parliament when I visited Matiba. The person who convinced me to take
Tell us about that.
This is an interesting part,
to take over public office
was Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. I never wanted to be a councillor.
What happened?
When I was in the ANC, never wanted to be a councillor. Never wanted to be in Parliament. Even in COPE, when we started COPE, remember I had that big interview with Siputumaname. Everybody thought I was going to go to. I refused Because I wanted to be a professional and an academic at the end. I wanted not to be employed on the basis somebody have raised it. But when I visited Matimba in 2010, then I started to see an old man sitting there. We can't do anything about what is happening in South Africa. And
where was that? Johannesburg?
No. Nqaba. You will see the picture there in my house. Wow. Not even in the lounge, in his bedroom.
Oh wow!
You will see.
Were you invited? Or
invited? Yeah.
He called you.
No, we were invited by Mandla when they. But the point is that when I look at him, I said, yes, this man used to have a voice, man. You know?
Okay.
Now the country is going down, he has no voice. But when I hear, like I'm sitting here, I'm energetic and I'm young. But I go to work from 8 o'clock to 4:30, meaning I'm not effective. I'm a president of the youth there of Cope. I'm not known by anybody. Because I'm sitting here in the municipality here in the 4-2. Then you know what I did? It was on a Friday. It was on the 10th of October. When I arrived here in PE, I wrote my resignation at work. By that time, yes, they were persuading me for some time that they want me to be a member of parliament and all that. But I knew that there is that offer. But it was going to take time, 2 months or something. You understand? Because you have to change the list. You know?
Yeah.
And by that time, changing the list was closed. But when I came back, I resigned at work.
Where were you working?
Yeah, in the municipality. Yeah, it's me who have done this social housing. The police, it was done by myself and Imizi and all those. I was working there. Then, look, I arrived, I resigned. In the 10th. Do you know when you resign in the 10th? And I didn't know. If you earn 25,000, you're going to get around 3,000. Right?
It's a tough decision.
I didn't know, but I resigned, you know, and that's when I started to do public office. Then I joined Cope, which was very good. I enjoyed Cope. Because Cope, to me, it was very easy, you know, because the policies of Cope are not different from ANC policies.
Okay.
Therefore, now could educate a person of the ANC by their education policy because I was in higher education. And remember my history in higher education, they are mazing and Then I would stand there in parliament, write no speech. I did not write a speech in parliament. I would have a speech written for Hansard, but no, I didn't write a speech.
You'd go.
You can Google. You can Google them.
Can you check, Nwai? Can you just pull it up there so we can see it whilst he's speaking?
Check my speeches there.
Yeah, Nqaba in Parliament on YouTube.
Check the speech. Check the speech. Nqaba Parliament.
Parliament, Cope.
When I was, by the way, I was explaining to them that is a xenophobic thing, you know, in Parliament, because Mamunjobe was trained in Ghana. Now we are shifting by Nqaba. Mamunjobe was a veteran of things, but was an MP of Cope. Now trying to explain the relationship. But I mean, it was so interesting in Parliament, very nice. That's why the DA got me, you know. Because they started to pick up, hey man, but this MP of Cope, it does not even read the speech. He just speaks. And he's not like this old man, no snorts, no terror. He tells these people. When I speak in Parliament, they used to be quiet. That one. That's
a youth.
If
I used day debate.
Yeah, if you listen to this one, yes, leave the shade, man. I had my. No, I had my family problems. But if you listen to that one, that was the most powerful one ever.
Wait, don't play it. I want to pull it up here. How long is that video?
4 minutes.
That's 4 minutes. So let's play 30 seconds. Let's play 30 seconds of it.
The next
play it.
The Honorable Bhanga. Ability of the youth of our country to take a bite and a commitment into the national development plan.
Look at your shirt there.
For these reasons, one, as the Congress of the People, we associate ourselves with the new vision of the National Youth Development Agency.
How old
For
were you
two
then?
reasons, because
I'm
one,
old.
we believe investing on education on our young people will take us forward.
I'm not
Investing
really,
on skills
I
development
believe it's
of our young people will take us forward. When we grew up, we were told by our parents that we must go to school, go to university, and work for us to be able to build a better life for our families. That is gone into our youth because we are not communicating it to our youth. Okay. We should make sure that as a country, we are not building a youth that relies on government. The responsibility of government is to lay a foundation for the
you're not
youth.
reading.
And the youth must grab those opportunities in building a better country for them. It is a shame that today's youth...
Wow, you can pause it. Wow. That's
No, it's quite remarkable. But you know, whenever I see videos like this, and it's you know, sterling individuals that are really passionate about whatever facets of social life their hearts are vested in, but then you see them years later. Let's case in point, Jacob Zuma. You know, I watched the point where he was explaining about the initial inception. You know, those videos,
old
you know,
Jacob Zuma videos.
those ones are inspirational,
Yeah,
you know.
they are.
And you would think that someone is an academic, but yet he doesn't even have a grade 12, you know, let alone a high school entry. But you look at, you know, you realize someone is just a shadow of their former self. You know, aren't those painful when leaders become that way? And secondly, what do seeing videos like that do to you? How does it move you when you realize that, hey, you know, what does that do to you?
You see, the first thing that people should understand, I hope you listened to when I was talking about Helen Zinn and 4-3. You know, the problem of Mugabe was a great leader. I don't care who says what. But staying too long in position of power, you become the position.
Yeah.
We are done.
Can you move that closer there, Butler Mike?
Now, it's the biggest problem of many leaders in Africa that they've caused. A cult of personality, develop a cult. You know? In the SRC, in the Coquel SRC, 3 years. Ne? Usually abantu it's 1 year because kaloku kumele ubuphumile so aphuma esikolweni. Now, when I was the president, first year, fine. Second year, ubusithi wena that you are new in this SRC, I'm no longer listening to you. Because I've said this thing when I was starting in the SRC. When this thing, ideas are too old for me. Now, your tolerance level, you start to know more. You think you know everything. You don't respect other people's opinion. Okay. That's why leaders must leave when time is right. That's why when I was the leader of the DA, I took my 2 terms, and they were shocked that I said I'm leaving, because I had to accept that in leadership, you destroy the things you have done instantly for staying longer. You know, that's what is happening. That's what is also happening to Helen Zinn. Helen Zinn's problem, that she was a good leader, but because people who like that, they don't see any other person who can assume a responsibility. They think it's only them. That's what has happened. That's what destroyed many leaders. Look at Robert Mugabe, for instance. And, you look at many leaders in the world who have done the same thing. They're suffering from that. And Zuma is a former of himself. I mean, Zuma was elevated sometimes, given platform that it did not deserve. You know, it's not look Zuma contesting with Winnie Mandela, for instance. I mean, you know. Yeah. I blame also Abotabo for doing that, you know, because they saw Winnie as rogue, but Winnie was an outstanding politician, because one of the limitations of politicians, they don't want a person who's going to oppose them to be next to them, you know. That's a mistake, and then they made this Zuma to become so big, and Look at what it's doing now. It's not new. In Africa, what is happening? Just next door in Angola, in Savimbi. Savimbi was a member of the MPLA. You understand? MPLA of NATO. NATO was like a Mandela there. Look at what Savimbi have done. People were killed there. Killed for decades and decades and decades. Savimbi funded by the South African Defence Force and the apartheid government. Dlakama in Mozambique. The same thing. Dlakama, who wanted to destabilize, was a member of Frelimo Liberation Movement. He did the same thing. What Zuma is doing here, it's not new. My worry is that, shame, the poor new South Africans like you guys, you don't understand that. How are we going to put it in the minds of the people to say, this is danger. Zuma is danger. Because what Zuma is doing, it has nothing to do with the interest of the people.
Yeah.
It has something to do with him not going to prison. Like Savimbi, like Lagam. You understand? Now, it has nothing to do about building a prosperous, growing South Africa. Okay. But what this thing has to do, it's militants. That's why this thing is a repeat of what happened in Polokwane. If we won in Polokwane, all of us could have died.
You could have?
Died.
Yeah, no, it would have been civil unrest.
It was obvious. They had weapons.
If who won?
They had weapons.
If Mbeki won, it was going to be civil unrest.
Now, what they are mobilizing, open your eyes. What they are organizing, it's a military junta type of thing. People who are in the liberation movement. Those people know nothing about engagements. What they know is about carrying weapons.
Militants.
Now, what are you instilling you're trying to create a militarized state in South Africa. Those people at the end of the day, they're going to want to carry arms. You understand? Therefore, this is what a Dlakama of South Africa, this is a Savimbi of South Africa. We should be worried about it. I'm very worried about it. I'm not celebrating it because we said that this person is going to be. Built on that, it's also tribalism. You must come, we're going to cut this thing with me. That out of this, it's going to develop an element of tribalism. Because this thinking that Zuma is victimized because it's a Zulu, it's going to be a problem for us, South Africa. We must watch and see it's going to happen. And tribalism, it's a demon for progress. And populists, they do that. I always say, sugar, sugar. Sugar, when you eat sugar.
Yes.
It's nice most to eat sugar. Ne?
But
the consequences of eating sugar. Populism are nice ideas. They look like, God, we can be liberated. We're going to take and steal this land and do that and that. It's not. But the consequences of wrong policy formulation, policies in a country, they collapse countries. Look at the countries in Africa. We're led by populists, and look at where they are today. They have not survived. And Zuma is going to bring that to South Africa.
There's so many questions I have, right? I don't want us to get, because I want us to talk about you more than other people. I want us to get into your mind in terms of your leadership journey, your leadership philosophy, and how you view your life, your political journey. Now, the first thing I'd like us to maybe spend a bit of time on is that jump from COPE to DA. Because there's ideologically, to me, it still doesn't make sense, right? Ideologically, for someone to say,
they've been headhunted.
Like, the ideology, and to even stay.
Let me explain this to you. Now, what happened is that when they see these speeches, the speeches, one of the speeches that we've seen there, they was very impressed. Trodip was very impressed in those speeches.
So Ethel was there as well.
Yeah. Now, I was a backbencher. You see, if you used to see the door there in the National Parliament, the one they always used to go out. I was a backbencher there. Now, Trodip will come, you can say to me, I want to talk to you. And I will say, I knew what you wanted to talk to me about. And I said, I will never in my life join this DA. Then he will pass all the time and do that.
True to blue.
But by that time, I was about to go back to the ANC. I was doing maritime studies. That's when Cope really now was starting to fight again. Then I said, can't waste my time. I was going to resign in Parliament that period. In 2014, 2013. Yeah. I think I was going to resign. I can leave Parliament in the middle, like how I left now.
And live that good life.
Yeah, well, no. So, you know, I don't take nonsense. I don't do things because I'm going to benefit. You know? Because I know I can turn my life around.
Sure.
You do understand? Don't depend into what politicians think. My life is not around it. That I should be a politician for me to make an impact. That's why I'm campaigning alone. I'm not campaigning with any party, but I'm alone, but it's making an impact.
Independent candidate.
Pardon?
No, I think you're speaking about this thing of
Palestine.
Oh, Palestine. Okay.
Yeah. Now, then Trolley approached me in order to do that. By the time, there are discussions, because when I was wanted to resign, Tozamile Bota said to me, no, man, wait, finish your term for you to get your benefit. We're doing something. That's why you saw them going back to the ANC. By that time, I was also going to go to the ANC, like, not for a leadership position at that time. I was just going to go finish my maritime studies and be an ordinary person. I didn't want to do anything with that. Because even me doing maritime, when I started maritime studies, when I was from Polokwane, because I said, I'm betrayed by the people in land. I wanted to know what is happening in the ocean. I wanted to focus in a different space. You understand? Then I said, no, I'm going back to do that. Smart would say to me, they want me to be mayor, will I want to be his chief of staff, things like that.
Who's that?
Smart Ngonyam.
Okay.
You know, we'll say those things sometimes. But then comes that Ganza report. I said, no, I'm not even...
I'm not touching the ends.
Not even listening to this thing of whether I would go, I will never join them. Then Ganza report, they pull and everything. I said, no. Then, the president of the Sharks, Graham Mackenzie, do you know president of the Sharks?
Sharks rugby team.
Yeah.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Graham Mackenzie, do you know him? Was an MP of Cope, do you know that?
Oh,
He was an MP of Cope. Yeah. Graham will always have a lunch, tea together and all that. He likes me. And then he said, no, let's go, man, to East London. I'm going to also show you my marinas there in Port Alfred. Do you know what a marina is? Those beautiful houses there in the beachfront. Got houses there. But he tells me that he wants me to meet with Trolley. Then when they, from my inside me, but we go because, you're a friend to a president of the Shark, a very rich man.
Just there for opulence.
Yeah, opulence. I go there. Come there. Met Trolley. Then Trolley will start to present this thing. What Trolley is very smart. He's not an ideologue. He's a pragmatic. Now I want to ask the ideology.
So
said, no man, no man, so alone. Then Trolley says, and I was telling myself, it was in the golf course there in East London golf course. In Vincent, close to Vincent. He said to me, you know what I want to do? I said, what do you want to do? He didn't say, do you know what the DA wants to do? I said, you know what I want to do? I said, what do you want? I said, look, man, we want to take over Nelson Mandela. I said, what? I said, no, I want to take over Nelson Mandela. I'm only short with 8%. I said, what? He said, no, 8%. I said, what do you mean? He said, if we can get you,
you are the 8%.
You are going to bring us that 8%. I said, what do you mean? I said, what? I said, I'm with you.
No ideology, no.
No, I said, I'm with you. You know why I said that? Because remember, when we left, when they chased us out, Nelson Mandela, and I have passion of the city. We loved it. I mean, people like Kusel Jack Clegg. We what we are because we're groomed by people here. Now they were destroying the place of my birth. My mother is here, and everything I knew was given by the people here. When Trolip offered me that, I said no. I joined, and I said no, I'm gonna take it. Then I joined the DA on the basis that we had this project of taking over Nelson Mandela. Do you understand?
Okay.
It was not based.
2014.
Trolip didn't like this thing, but we talk about ideology. No, I said, no, man, give me, I don't know this thing of liberalism. Can't you give me a book? Said, yeah, he said, I wanted to know what is liberalism.
So join by liberalism.
Now I joined because we're going to overthrow, Nelson Mandela.
And this is Danny's term at the time.
By that time, not still Waile. Then,
Waile, okay.
Remember, it's a project.
Okay.
Now, Trolip speaks to me in 2013.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but?
And the elections 2014.
Yeah. We have that discussion in 2013.
Okay.
Did he offer you mayorship then?
No.
Did he say, join, I'll make you mayor?
No. 2014, there's going to be national elections. Yeah? I'm going to quit politics, like in general. You understand? Yeah, and I say, no, let's do this thing.
So the deal is a few-year project. We get to local government elections
in 2016.
In 2016, then he goes into.
But he wants me now. He
to build that 8%.
To build
and
that
more.
8%.
Okay.
But he wanted me also to. He was not saying wait for 2016. He wanted me to be part of the structures of the DA already by 2014. Yeah, I started by 2014.